Today we will configure log shipping in Microsoft SQL Server. So we have one primary server, one secondary server, and we have pre-installed Microsoft SQL Server 2019 Enterprise Edition. So just like in Oracle we configure replication through data guard, the same setup we have in Microsoft SQL Server, that is known as log shipping. In Oracle, actually the primary ships the archived redo logs and redo logs to the standby, and in standby the MRP applies the logs, and by this way the replication happens in Oracle. In same way, Microsoft SQL Server uses transaction logs, which you can compare as redo logs, and there is some major difference in Oracle and MS SQL, that the archiving of redo log in Oracle is automated. You know the scenario that whenever 1/3 redo is full, or whenever one cycle completes of redo, then archive gets generated. But what happens in MS SQL, there is no archive file of tlog generated until you take it manually or schedule it in jobs. So this is the major drawback of MS SQL log shipping setup. That's why real-time log apply is not possible in MS SQL, whereas real-time log apply is quite common in Oracle. So from today onwards I will try to make some videos on MS SQL Server also. So it is the first video of MS SQL Server, in which we will see how to configure log shipping setup. So I will connect to my primary server. This is my primary server, in which I have two databases, MyDB PRD and our first database. Let's connect to standby server. This is my standby server, in which I have already created one log shipping setup for MyDB PRD DR. I can check the status here. Just right click on your server name, go to reports, and here you find transaction log shipping status. Here you can find the log shipping status report of all the database which you configured. So right now I have configured for MyDB PRD database, so it is showing status good. Here you will find copy job status and restore job status, and here you will find the last tlog copied and last tlog applied status. So okay, we will first open our SOP. Yeah, what we need, the most important, we need a user who must have sysadmin access to configure log shipping. Okay, like in Oracle you need a sys user to or a DBA user to perform those tasks. In MS SQL Server you need a sysadmin access user. So right now I have logged in with this ID, and this ID has the sysadmin access. So this ID will be able to configure this configuration. Okay, number 2, we need shared location. That may be a network location, or that may be a shared mount point which you can get from storage team. The mandatory condition is the location should be must be accessible from both the servers. Okay, that means primary and standby, both server can access those location. What is the use of this location? In first location, the backup of tlog will be stored, and in the second location the backups of tlog which happened for in primary database will be copied to dr server location. Like in Oracle, in primary you have log archive test1 where the primary archive logs are being created, and you configure the remote destination in log archive test2 for the standby server. So you can relate this as log archive test2 location, and it is in primary location log archive test1. Just you can relate with Oracle to understand it in simple way. Yeah, so after that we will take full backup of our source database. Let's say I will configure for this database, so I will take a full backup. After that we will restore the full backup in standby server with no recovery option. So I was testing the setup, so I have already restored, but I will drop this database to perform this task again so that you can understand it better. Yeah, so it has been dropped. Okay, after restoring the database we will configure log shipping, and after configuring we will check the status whether it is working fine or not. Okay, so let's get started. First we need to take full backup of source database, so I will choose this database, right click on it, go to task, go to backup. Backup type will be full, database will be this one, our first database. Here you need to go to file, backup to disk, and here you need to remove this and add a particular location where you want to take backup. So I will take backup in C drive DB, and file name will be whatever you want to do. You can put here our first DB dot back. Okay. I know that this database is small, so I don't need compression, but if you perform this in production environments and your database size is 20 GB or 30 GB, then you go here backup option. Here you can select backup compression, here compress backup. So what your Microsoft SQL server will compress the backup set so that you can get the backup size in few GBs. After setting all these things, click on OK. Backup completed. Now I will go to our primary server. This is my primary server. Go to that location, C drive DB. Yeah, this is the backup. I need to copy this backup to our DR server. So since we have created a shared location, so I will directly copy in shared location. Yeah, here I will copy this file. Yeah, it has been copied to shared location. Now I need to go to standby server. This is my standby server. I will copy that backup piece to its local drive, because restoring the database from the backup piece which is actually stored in shared location, that is not possible in SQL server. You will get error that this file is already being used by other session. You will get that kind of error. So to reduce those kind of error and issues, you simply copy the backup piece to local drive. This is the shared location. Okay, what was the backup file? Yeah, this one was the backup file. I will just copy it to local C drive, and I will delete this backup piece. This will create confusion. Okay, backup file has been copied to local drive. Now I will go to SSMS. Now we have taken backup, we have copied to standby. Now we will restore the database in standby server with no recovery. Okay, so this is my standby server. Right click on it, right click on databases, and here select the restore database. Here go to devices. Here you need to select the backup piece, add, go to the local drive, go to the folder. Here is our backup piece, select, OK. Here you can check backup is name, type is full, server PRD, database name, all thing good. Okay, no issue. Here we need to go files, all things are okay. If you want to relocate your database files to different location, so in that case you can tick here and set some other location. Options, if you have already created here database, then you must tick this option, and in every case make a habit to overwrite, so you can occasionally select this option, no issue. The important part is recovery state. So here you will get three options. First is restore with recovery. This means you will, if you restore with this option, so you will restore the clone of database of this of this database. You will creating a clone in this server. So what will happen, the database will be open in read write mode and it will act as a separate database. Okay, so it will not you cannot configure log shipping in that case. Like in Oracle also, in standby you cannot do read write operation when you apply logs. The second one is restore with no recovery. You can relate it with Oracle that you are restoring database in mount state. This is a similar case. In that case the database is not accessible to end user, but you will be able to apply logs in the database. So we will restore this with this option. The third option is restore with standby. You can relate it with Oracle's active data guard. Like in this case, the MS SQL database will be opened in read only state, and along with that the log apply process will be running in background, like happens in Oracle active data guard. So we will see this option in next video. Right now we will restore with no recovery, so select this option and you don't need to do anything else and click on OK. It will restore in few seconds because it is 2 or 3 MB database. Here you find that it has been restored and status is restoring. That means your database is in mount state. If you try to expand, you will get error that it is not accessible because it is in mount state. You cannot see anything. Okay, now go to the SOP. Yeah, so our backup and restoration completed. Now it is time to configure log shipping. So everything now you do that thing you need to do in primary server. So here primary server, select your database, right click on it, go to task. Here you will find option ship transaction logs. Click on it. Here tick here, enable this as primary database in log shipping configuration. Now you need to go to backup setting. Here you need to provide the network location where primary tlog backup will be saved. So we have created earlier this location, so I will use this location, paste here, and the same location you can paste here. Actually this location is if you are using a local directory to take the tlog backup along with this location, so you can put here C drive, E drive, D drive of local server. Here you need to mention the policy of auto deletion. Like in Oracle, you create policies in rman, or you create jobs in cron tab to delete archive logs older than 1 day 2 days. So here you need to mention. So I will mention here, I will auto deleted in 1 day old tlogs backups, and here it will generate alerts if no backup happens. So I will keep it default 1 hour. That means if during after 1 hour no backup is running, so it will generate alert. Here it will create a backup job. Like earlier I told you that MS SQL does not create tlog backups. Like in Oracle automatically archive redo logs. MS SQL does not perform those things. So you need to configure a backup job of tlog. Here we need to schedule it. So by default it is 15 minutes duration, but since we are I am trying to demonstrate this setup, so I need some few smaller time frames. So I will configure it in seconds. In production you will never find in seconds configuration, so I will configure it in every 10 seconds, and here I will select OK. Here you can opt for compression. In production you will get if you have enterprise edition, so obvious is that you will use this feature. Okay, here everything completes, click on OK. Yeah, so my backup setting is fine. Now I need to configure standby location and standby jobs settings, because backup job is created in primary server, and copy jobs and restore job will be configured in standby server. So here you need to add the standby server, and you can add multiple standby server as you also do in Oracle. In MS SQL the same you can do. Click on add, here click on connect, here provide the standby server IP, provide the sysadmin user. Yes, here you have 3 options. If you didn't restore the database earlier, so by these 2 options you can take current backup, and automatically SQL server will take backup and copy to standby server and restore the database. So as per my experience, these 2 options sometimes fails due to shared location. You will get error that network location is busy or file is used by other session. So I prefer to restore database manually, as we did in earlier states. So that you select here no, that secondary database is initialized. That means we have already restored. Go to copy files. Here you need to mention the location where you want to copy your primary tlog backups to standby a backup location. So we have created one location, copy it here, sorry, paste it here. Here you also need to mention the deletion policy, so I will keep the same 1 day. Here into configure copy job, click on schedule. We have schedule backup job in every 10 seconds, so I will configure copy job also in every 10 seconds, and it is the minimum value, you cannot reduce it from 10 seconds. So it is obvious that there will be a minimum 10-second delay in MS SQL server. That's why I told you earlier that in MS SQL you cannot configure real-time log shipping like we have in MS SQL, in Oracle. Okay, so click on OK here. Okay, now go to restore transitional tab. Here you find 2 options. One is no recovery mode, that means database will be in mount mode and log apply process will run. And if you select here standby mode, so in this case database will be open in read only mode and log apply process will run in background. So today we will configure only simple no recovery mode, that means our database will be in mount mode. Here you don't if you want delay restoring, then you can mention here, like in Oracle you mention delay parameter like 30 minutes, 5 minutes. You can mention here in MS SQL server also. So I will keep it 0, and it will generate alert. Suppose till 45 minutes no log applied, so it will generate alert that no logs has been applied, please look into this something. So I will keep it default, 45 minutes is okay. Job name is by default this, you can change it as per your comfort. Go to schedule, here also you need to, as per your comfort, you create the schedule time. I will create 10 seconds. Click on OK. So we have configured all three options. Just click on OK. Everything is completed, you just need to click here OK. It will take a few seconds to configure. In background, what currently it is doing, it will create one job of tlog backup in primary, which will be visible here, SQL Server agent, and another two jobs in the DR server. One is copy job and another one is restore job. So we will see it configured. So go to SQL Server agent, go to jobs. Here you will see the backup job. Here it is, ls backup and our first database name. Okay, so this job will take the tlog backup. And if you go to standby server, expand jobs, you will find two jobs. One is copy job and one is restore job. Okay, so log shipping setup completed. Now we need to check our log shipping status. So I will just refresh here, you will find another database here. Yeah, so our new database has been added in our log shipping setup. You will find here the status, last run status of copy job, so 1 minute before the job run, and when the restore job ran last time, so it ran just 1 minute ago. Latency means the gap between. Okay, so both are 1 minute, so you will get the latency 0 minute. Threshold is 45 minutes. That means if restore or copy job is not happening from 45 minutes, so it will show here the time difference, and you will find here alert. Right now you are getting good, you will find here written as alert in red color, and this complete row will appear as red color. So we will wait and refresh here, it will appear here 00 minute. Or you can check here, yeah, here see restore job just ran few seconds ago. You will see here log file name will be change, like last restored file was 651. If we refresh here, it is still 651. Okay, it will change after 10 seconds. Like in Oracle you check the max sequence, here you need to check the last flight log. Okay, might be, no, my database is up, my server is up. I think some temporary issue. Right click here, reports, transaction log. 651 is still there. Yeah, as you see file name change 751. So by this way we can check that okay, log apply is happening. And you can also check at the directory that where files are generated. So this is my standby server, this is the location where tlog backup is happening. So you see that the current time, if you refresh here you can see these are the log backups which is happening here. And here is another folder, dir, here you will see the same file. Like in Oracle, the same archive file will is being copied to DR. The same happens in MS SQL Server also. Just one difference is we need to create job for every task in MS SQL Server. So I hope this video helped you to understand the working principle of log shipping setup in MS SQL Server. In next video we will see that how to configure log shipping while keeping the standby server in read-only state, so that you can use your standby server as reporting server. Okay, thank you very much.